So, first question, please.
So, Ms. Cavasos, how can you be an effective attorney if the commissioners no longer follow your advice?
Okay, you have 2 minutes, a minute and a half to respond.
Thank you. Well, it's no secret that both of my opponents are candidates here because members of the Commissioner's Court enticed them into this race. And that is because, like many public officials, once people enter into office, they become complacent and they forget that they're public servants and they primarily work at self-service. And unfortunately, that is true in large part in our community. In our Commissioner's Court, I've got people who want to do what they want to do, and regardless of what we tell them, that it's not legal, that it is not proper, that it would be costly, that it would not be fair, and it would be an injustice to employees, or whatever the case may be, they want to do what they want to do. And that is why I have 2 opponents in this race. I know that Mr. Montemayor here has been taken by the hand personally by a certain public official. And that, to me, calls into place how independent he would be and whether or not, he would look at what is in the best interest of Webb County or those people who helped him get elected.
Thank you. Do you have a follow-up, Mr. Garcia?
No.
Okay. Next question, Ms. Cavasos Ramirez. Go ahead.
Just 2 questions?
Right, but we're going to go 1 each and then...
Okay.
Well, my question would be to Mr. Montemayor. And Mr. Montemayor, with your 11 years and 5 months or so of legal experience, which to my knowledge you have not had a whole lot of trial experience, in fact little to none, how, and your experience primarily in the courtroom has been in plea bargains and family and child support matters. How would you come up to speed in handling some of the more complex litigation that Webb County is involved in, from jail deaths to car accidents to employment litigation to litigation that involves millions of dollars, none of which you have ever handled?
Well, I think you actually don't know where you're getting your information, but I've handled a lot more than what you seem to be talking about. Handled a lot of federal cases, state cases, handled property cases, employment law cases, I've handled immigration cases, business cases, contracts. Not every case goes to court. So just because there's nothing in the court system doesn't necessarily mean that an attorney has not addressed those issues or has ever dealt with those issues. So I do have the experience necessary. I've handled those cases. I've been appointed special commissioner on property cases. I've handled complex property cases, dealing with deeds. I've handled contract cases, employment law cases, all areas that the county attorney deals with. So, again, I do believe that does qualify me. I believe I have handled these cases. And so I guess it's just a matter of where the information is coming from and what you're relying on.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yes. Would you care to tell us the style or the title of some of these cases so that members of the audience and myself can look these up?
Well, over the 12 years of practice that I've been engaged in, some have gone to court, some have not gone to court. Do I have them here in front of me? No, I do not have them here in front of me. But I'll be more than glad to provide you with that information if that's what you would like. So I have no problems with that.
Thank you. I would ask you to provide that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question. Mr. Montemayor.
Okay. My question will be to Ms. Cavasos. Ms. Cavasos, there's an issue that has kind of stayed with me since last week, and I believe it's I don't want to confuse the public, and I don't know if that's what you were trying to do, trying to confuse the public and kind of smoke and mirrors here, but last week the issue of teen dating violence came up. You stated that your office handles those issues. You actually stated that your office was trained about a year ago. However, that the DA's office has not referred any cases to you. Now, I know for a fact that your office was actually trained in 2009 by the DA's office to provide services to teen dating victims. And I know for a fact that the same day that you said that your office provides services to these victims, that your office denied services to a victim. So can you please help explain why you are saying one thing but yet doing another?
I would first ask Mr. Montemayor for the name of that victim that you claim we denied services to.
Well, I think we both are aware that we need to protect the identity of that juvenile. And so we know that that information cannot be exposed.
That is public information, Mr. Montemayor, and I have absolutely no qualms about answering the question specifically, but the bottom line is this. In 2009, the district attorney's office approached us and said, you know, we do protective orders for adult cases, and we get requests for protective orders in juvenile matters. And we have been doing these. And my question to them was, well, how many have you been doing? Because you don't have jurisdiction. They do not have jurisdiction to go after a juvenile defendant. That jurisdiction belongs in my office. I have never gotten a response to that. And they said, well, whatever they are, we don't want to do them anymore, so we do want to pass that duty on to you all, and we want to tell you how we do them. We called a meeting in late 2009 sometime, and a number of my staff were present, including myself. They did go over everything that they did in processing a protective order for an adult and said, you will handle all of those from now on. And they were supposed to refer all of those to us. To date, we have received 2 referrals. 2. And that is it. And in those situations, a protective order was not called for according to the law.